Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my video about an insane bot farm that a lot of people told me about since my previous bot video. These are blessed sand bots. If you come over to the worker district in Menafos, you will always see people mining the sandstone and crushing it into fine sand. Then they'll go over to the beach and they'll turn it into blessed sand. This is used in order to make the blessed flask, but it's really bad money and really bad XP. So I kind of just wanted to look into this bot farm a bit more and just find out why they do it and see if I can obviously break any of the bots and discover anything while I'm here. So let's get right into it. I went to hop to a couple of different worlds to find a populated world, and literally the first world I hopped to has so many of these bots. As you can see, right clicking any of the spots, you can see so many people all stacked up on top of each other. This world alone must have about 15 bots. So it's either a lot of people doing it or one person on loads of accounts at once. With the GP being bad, it makes sense if someone's playing on loads of accounts at once because this requires pretty much nothing. If you look at all of the stats of the bots, they have a very high mining level, a pretty decent crafting, and prayer level. Although one of the guys I looked at has 120 mining with 134 million experience. That means this guy's been botting this area for a very long time without being banned. Then there's loads of new ones popping up that have maybe 99 mining, 102, 103, but even that takes a while to obtain, especially because these are very bad XP. One of the things that kind of annoys me, and it annoyed me with my previous bot video as well, these bots have such high stats, and they've been doing it for so long, yet they haven't been banned. Jagex always talks about how good their bot detection system is on RS3, but it isn't good whatsoever. The amount of bots on RS3 currently is completely out of hand, and they have such high stats because they've been botting for ages. I think I'm going to do a series and I'm going to investigate loads of different bot farms, one at a time, and just showcase how many bots are in the game because it's really frustrating me and it's an ongoing and growing issue. Old school Runescape is being overrun with bots, RS3 is becoming the same way. In addition to bots, there are gold farmers who farm it for real life money with real world trade. A lot of these gold farmers on old school are Venezuelans and it pays more than their full-time jobs. RuneScape free GP has become a little bit more valuable recently with more people coming to RS3 and swapping their old school gold with like Sick Nerd coming over, a friend, stuff like that. With the RuneScape free gold being a little bit more valuable, these gold farmers could farm the gold on RS3 and profit similar to what they would on old school. Especially with the really simple methods like this, it requires pretty much nothing. It requires 50 mining, which is very easy to get, and it also requires Menafos unlocked. You could get both of those things done in half of a day. Then you can bot your life away at these for a very long time, it seems, because Jagex doesn't seem to want to ban them. One thing that I did do was try and bug out the bots. I tried to tele-other them, but, you know, the tele-other would go off, but they wouldn't accept it, and I guess the invitation would just be sitting there. I also tried to put down some portables. I put them on top of them, but I'm guessing they're clicking the rock from the other side, so there's nothing, you know, obstructing their field of view with the portables. I was hoping they were going to click them, but they didn't. Every single one of them has some type of pickaxe in their hand, so I cannot throw gnome balls at them to try and interrupt them or anything like that. So it doesn't seem like I can really break these bots, and I can't really think of a way to do so. But I did want to, you know, test it out for myself, see how much money it actually was, and just go into the rates of this a little bit because I'm actually kind of intrigued because it can't be good money. So I did some testing and I was looking at about 50 to 60k mining experience an hour with an Elder Rune pickaxe, so that would require 90 mining. And it was also the equivalent of 6k crafting experience an hour by then turning the sandstone that I get into fine sand. So while being 99 mining with an Elder Rune pickaxe, the maximum you can get for these bots, because they don't use any boosts, they don't use the golem outfit, etc., is 50 to 60k experience an hour. That means that account with 134 million experience would have been botting this for around 2,800 hours, because the XP when he first started would have been a bit lower, which means he would have been botting for even longer than just, you know, 50k experience an hour. So nearly 3,000 hours botting this activity without being banned. Then that leads to the question on how good Jagex bot detection really is, because if we go back to the last video, the amount of accounts I saw at Corrupted Scorpions that had 200 million stats, the accounts I saw at Frost Dragons that had 200 million stats, and there's more places than just that have high stats, but they're botting or, selling gold and real world trading for a very long time without getting banned. But I think I know why, so I'm going to go into that and just give my theory on why people are botting this. If you're botting this with an Elder Rune pickaxe at 90 plus mining, you're looking at around 700k GP an hour. That would be equivalent to around 7 cents if you were to real world trade it, which really isn't much. But if you're botting, you can bot all day, right? So if you're botting for 24 hours a day, that's $1.68 per account. And that one account with that 134 mil experience in mining, the highest XP'd account that I found, would have made $190 on its own, which is quite a considerable amount of money, especially if you live in a country where the minimum wage is very low, like we mentioned earlier with the Venezuelans. I did a bit of research digging into the average wage of a Venezuelan, and I found a couple of different articles and a couple of different things talking about it, and it seemed to be fairly consistent that the average wage is around $6 a month, which is obviously very, very low. Which means you could make this $6 in 4 days of constantly botting in one account. Although it is $11 for membership, so the membership upkeep takes 6.5 days as well. So in 10.5 days, you're going to make the average wage of a Venezuelan. And that's just one account. If they can bot on multiple accounts, they're going to be making much more than that. And it's really interesting because in my reading, Venezuelans' wages have gone up by 2 to 3 times the amount in the last year or two. Which is why there was such a big crisis on old school in 2019, where there was so many Venezuelans farming gold. There still is, but there was even more back then because their minimum wage was so low. It's gone up a bit, but it's still super low. So it's highly profitable for these type of people in these countries to farm gold and sell it as a job. Just botting this one account is around 3 times more than the average wage in Venezuela, which is just absolutely nuts just to think about. I guess it's the sad truth behind a lot of the reasons why people do bot and a lot of the reasons why there are gold farmers in these games is it's just really good in these third world countries in terms of a job and, monthly wages. And obviously it still does suck that we have this many bots in the game and Jagex's bot detection system is very poor, but I believe these are the type of people that would bot this activity because no one's really going to care about 700k an hour too much, except for if it's, putting food on your table. Or you're doing it on 10 accounts at once and then making a decent chunk of money. Because, for example, if you're botting 10 accounts at once for 24 hours, that's $15 a day, which is much more. It really makes me wonder on how many of these accounts are genuinely people doing this type of thing. It honestly makes me so curious about all of this. It's just such a crazy world that we live in. I know this video took a little bit of a turn, but I kind of just researched and went into this, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and you hopefully enjoyed my take on it. Do give the video a like if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you're new for loads of future Runescape free content. If you want to see more bot videos, let me know in the comments down below, and if you have any bots that you want me to take a look into, feel free to let me know those in the comments down below as well. And as always, until next time, see ya.